What is up, everybody? Chris here with another episode of A Live Studio. In today's episode, I am going to be comparing the Sony ZV-1 to my new baby, the Osmo Pocket 3. In this comparison, I'm basically have these both set up in front of me, and I'm going to show you why I decided to get rid of the ZV-1 and why I'm using the Osmo Pocket now as my main webcam for these live streams and for BTS and everything moving forward. But without further ado, let's just get into side-by-side comparison of specs and stats. So I've got a little presentation that I have over here, and basically, let's go over price. So price-wise, the Sony ZV-1 brand new is sitting at about $748, which if you ask me, is a bit ridiculous, being it is a camera that came out in 2020. And there's a second new version of it, which I think costs even more. It's like $800 or $900, brand new. That said, you can find these used for like $500. I mean, I'm selling mine for about like $550 with a bunch of accessories, capture card, things like that. So if you're interested, just DM me below. But yeah, as for the Osmo Pocket itself, it sits at about $519 right now, brand new. And the creator combo is about like $650, I believe so. And the creator combo comes with extra batteries, a DJI mic too. And yeah, I've seen some of these used on OfferUp and Facebook and B&H for about as low as 300. That said, I mean, being this is still a pretty much new camera, being it's on a gimbal, I don't know. I would definitely, if you're going to buy it, make sure you're playing with it first. Make sure that it's not defective. There's a lot of moving parts. So I would be afraid to buy, this thing used, being there is a lot of moving parts. Like it's a little gimbal. Like it's got a lot going on there. Um, just a quick side note, I do have my kid in the back end. So yeah, if ever I have to take a little break, I'll put a little be right back soon scene. But yeah, so getting back into the price, yeah, I think the Osmo is definitely well worth its asking price. And to be honest, I think the ZV-1 new, like I would rather go get that used. Like you can get that used all day. It's just a flip cam. But yeah, let's get into the next stat here. Sensor size. So these are both rocking a 1-inch sensor, and that's kind of what drove me to get the Osmo Pocket in the first place. Like I first originally started my company with 3 Sony ZV-1s, and I was producing podcasts for people. And I love the image quality of it. It's super nice. It's a 24-70 focal length. It gives you a lot of shallow depth of field, and I was really surprised that they were able to fit that same sensor size in the small Osmo Pocket 3. So that's really what drove me to buy it from that perspective. Getting into the recording format, so the ZV-1 can do 4K up to 30 frames per second, but it can do 1080p up to 120 frames per second, and I believe it can do like super slow-mo mode at like 720p or like 900 frames per second. There's a lot to play with there in terms of the formats, but again, the Osmo, being it came out later, hits it out the park with 4K up to 120 frames per second and 1080p up to, it says 60 frames per second. I think I got that wrong. I think it goes further up to like 240 frames per second. I need to edit that stat there, but that was a little mishap. So getting into the next stat, color profiles. So both these are capable of recording in standard, HLG, and S-Log, and in Osmo's case, D-Log. But the difference here is that the ZV-1 is giving you 8-bit color, and the Osmo is giving you 10-bit color. So for those of you who like to color things in post with LUTs, the Osmo Pocket's going to give you a lot more flexibility when it comes to coloring things. For me, what you're looking at right now from the Osmo Pocket is standard, and I'm pretty damn happy with that. I'm not a big fan of editing, but that said, if I had to, choose my preference, I do think I like the colors and the look of the ZV-1 a little better. But yeah, that's it. There's nothing wrong with the Osmo Pocket at all. And yeah, you also get that flexibility to edit in post. And then last, it comes to like extra features. So both of these have a product showcase mode, where you can put things in front of the camera and kind of get into, you know, the nitty gritty closeness of things. I would say that the minimum focus distance of the ZV-1 is a lot closer than the Osmo Pocket. You can really get some good details on the ZV-1 and like get into the nitty, like, you know, get those little textures. Whereas the Osmo is literally just to like get like the surface level details of something like, hey, I'm eating this sandwich. Look at this sandwich type of deal. What else? The ZV-1 has extra things like a background defocus mode, which is cool. It's not as corny as it sounds. It's not no AI background defocus. They really open up the aperture and do like a natural bokeh. Cool thing is it goes from f1 to f2.8. So f1.8 to f2.8 for the ZV-1. And then the Osmo Pocket is locked at an f2 lens through for its 20 mil equivalent. What else? The ZV-1 has a dope onboard 3-capsule mic, and it has a 3-inch touch. Oh no, it's just a 3-inch regular rotating screen. The Osmo Pocket has a 2-inch rotating screen. It has some onboard mics as well that are pretty good, but when you're handling it, I mean, you're always covering things and like making little hand noises. But the dope thing is it works with the wireless mics. So yeah, let's get into a little comparison that I have here. So yeah, right now you're looking at the ZV-1 on the left and the Osmo Pocket on the right. And yeah, I just wanted to like show you guys what these sort of look like in this situation. I think if you ask me, like I said, I think I do prefer the colors and the shallow depth of field on the ZV-1 rather than the Osmo Pocket. These are both being shown at 4K 30 frames per second right now. There is a slight crop on the ZV-1 when you try to do webcam through 4K 30. And there's a lot of moving pieces when it comes to hooking up the ZV-1. Like right now I have 2 wires going to the ZV-1, whereas I just have 1 wire going into the Osmo Pocket, and it's just working out of box. As soon as I plug it in, it says, hey, take me into webcam mode. Whereas it's a lot more finicky with the ZV-1 where I have to like get into menus. But yeah, I just wanted to show you the whole idea of like the product showcase mode. So this controller is a good idea to show that. Oh, wait, I don't have it set on the ZV-1. Now I do. So yeah, on the ZV-1, you can get a little closer there, get some nice fall off. Whereas on the Osmo Pocket, it's there. It's cool. It's sharp. I mean, I like that it, you know, gives you some nice background bokeh. But yeah, I would say that the ZV-1 is definitely sharper. Definitely has a lot nicer of a roll off when it comes to the focus. But yeah, I think the number one selling feature for me of why I chose the Osmo Pocket is for the face tracking. And the reason why I have those little circles there is just to show you exactly that. So if I wanted to use the ZV-1 as a webcam, which is what I do, there are times often when I'm webcamming that like I am putting myself or cropping in on my angle in like little ways, putting me in a little box or putting me in a circle. And with the ZV-1, it always keeps me centered. Whereas for the ZV-1, like I kind of have to like lock myself in place and always be aware of like, where am I going? What am I doing? Am I out of frame? Am I in frame? Whereas the ZV-1, whereas the Osmo just keeps me locked in. This was the number one selling feature for me. That face track is second to none. And you get me, I can forego like, you know, my preference in color and feel just for this, because I know that I can also shoot this in D-Log and get a nice LUT, which is what I plan on doing in the future. Maybe I'll make a video on that. But yeah, this is why I love this Osmo Pocket for videos like this. The fact that I can just go set up somewhere and it's just one angle. I mean, it's just one wire, and I'll show you, you know, what I have rigged up here behind my computer right now, just in this mode. So yeah, Osmo Pocket, one wire going into the side, whereas the ZV-1 has two wires. I have my Jackery there providing some power for it, because this does have some pretty poor battery life. And then I have the other wire going into a capture card here. So I have a Camlink capture card here. So again, a lot more moving pieces. It's not as easy to, you know, use the ZV-1 as a webcam as it is the Osmo Pocket. I can reframe myself here. I like having a little less headroom there. So yeah, this is, you know, the comparison of both of these. Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. I want to get into, you know, my pros and cons for each one and kind of break those down. So let's get into that right now. So pros for the ZV-1 are color science, camera quality, the manual controls, the fact that it is a 24 to 70 optical zoom, which, you get me, that's enough within itself. Like here, let me switch over my this camera here to be B. So yeah, like the fact that I can, this is all focal zoom, you get me, and I have some digital zoom on top of that, but like this is pretty tight. That's pretty dang tight. I will say the lens itself is pretty loud, but I do like the fact that it has manual controls. I like the fact that it's durable. I added a cage to it because I did use it in a professional setting, and I wanted to like rig like an extra battery to it and like have it just be fully wireless. Because again, we'll get into the con later. I like the flip screen. I like the fact that it has all the inputs and outputs, so it is more flexible. It has great onboard mics. It comes with a little dead cat that slips over the mics. It has a great easy on off feature where like literally you just close the screen and it turns off automatically. You open the screen and it turns on automatically. And then another dope hidden feature that people don't gloat about enough on this camera is the fact that it has a built-in ND filter, which is essential for shooting video outdoors and maintaining your proper shutter speed to your frame rate. What else? And then, yeah, I love the fact that, you know, it has S-Log for those of you out there who care about that stuff. Getting into the cons, it uses an old micro USB. The newer ZV-1 has, you know, USB-C, which is great for those of you who want to just carry one wire around. But the older one, which I like the focal length of the older one, the 24 to 70, I feel like is more flexible. Whereas people like the older one, the 18 to 50. I mean, people like the newer one, which is 18 mil to 50 mil. But the thing is, the newer one opens up at 1.8, but at 50 mil, it closes to like, and I can't, don't quote me on this, but I think it closes to like 5.6 or 4.8, which, you know, at 50 mil, you still get some nice bokeh, but still like you're closing in on that sensor a lot. And I think the 24 to 70, like 70 at 2.8 is chef's kiss. It is really good. It's a really good point and shoot camera. But yeah, what else? Battery life. This thing is like, you need at least 3 of those little batteries to like, you know, get through the day and shoot. Also, if you're shooting video and zooming in, it is so loud and you hear that zzz, 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 like this noise. It's not cute. It's not cute at all. I don't want to take off my mic because I got it magnetically connected to me. But it's loud. It's very loud. And the image stabilization, oh my God, you start walking with this thing and it looks like there's an earthquake going on in your footage. And then lastly, not lastly, but like there are a lot of moving parts for the webcam feature. I don't like the 4K crop, and it's already tight enough at 24. Like I feel 24 is decent for a vlogging style camera, but I don't do a lot of vlogs, and I know a lot of people like wider lenses so that they can get more of their scenery in. And if you wanted to get the best quality out of the ZV-1 in vlog, you would have to go into 4K, and then it gets cropped even more, where it's like, I want to say like at 28 mil, and then at that point, like you really gotta extend your arm to get other things in frame. So yeah, those are my pros and cons for the ZV-1. Let's get into the Osmo Pocket, and I'm gonna switch back here to the Osmo Pocket, which again has been following me this whole time. And yeah, let's go into the pros. So it's small, it's pocketable, it's in the name. It's fast charging. This thing charges so fast, and the battery life is way better than the ZV-1, and it charges so fast. So that's chef's kiss, pretty dope. The gimbal control is super cool. The face tracking, as you're seeing right now, is essential to me in the types of videos that I want to do. It does have a product showcase mode similar to the ZV-1, which I said that was a pro for that as well. The footage is super stable. Not only is the footage itself on a gimbal, but the sensor itself, I don't know if anyone calls it out, but like it's also, you know, stabilized within the little head itself. Like the camera floats in there, so it's really stable. The dope part is it works with the DJI wireless mics out of box. I just open this up next to the Osmo Pocket, and similar to like AirPods next to your iPhone, it just connects automatically, auto-magically is the word I want to use. It also has the easy on-off feature where like you just flip the screen. This little screen that I'm talking about here, you just flip that little screen and then it turns off. This is what I was talking about with the ZV-1, where if you close it, it just turns off. But yeah, what else? It comes with this dope carrying case here, which has essentially everything you need. It carries 2 filters. I like that it comes with this. I know some people don't like it and feel like it's bulky. I think it's dope. What's up, my baby boy? Oh my goodness, your face is dirty. You want to talk on the screen with me? Give me like 4 or 5 more minutes. So, and then like I said, easy one wire webcam setup. This thing shoots time lapses, which is pretty sick. Like you can park it down, set point A, point B. You can do hyperlapses where you're tracking something and walking up to it. And then lastly, the D-Log footage is essential, right? D-Log is essential, right, Papa? Let's get into the cons. So some of the cons are that it's one focal length. The fact that if you want the NDs, they are these little magnetic NDs, which can be hard to keep track of. And yeah, I mean, it's cool that they fit in the case, but they can be hard to keep track of at times. And it's just like another thing you have to remember to put on. I would love some sort of internal ND feature here, but that's wishing. I mean, the ZV-1, I'm surprised that the ZV-1 even has an internal ND filter, and it's not even that big. I think it's like a 2 to 4 stop, which 4 stops is a lot. What else that I don't like about the ZV-1, I mean the Osmo Pocket, is the fact that the Osmo Pocket has a lot of bulk when it comes to bringing the accessories. So like I feel like fitting it in the case with the tripod, with the case, like there's just a lot. It becomes not pocketable. Whereas just having it by the unit by itself in the case and hand holding it is great. But when you want to do other shoots, then there's like a lot of other things you need to consider bringing with you. The other cons is it feels a little delicate. Like I feel like I have to baby it and I have to like put it back in this case so that it doesn't rotate out or like, you know, it doesn't break. And then lastly, which is just me being picky, is the micro SD card. I like bigger SD cards. They're easier to find. I have a bunch of them. I had to use the SD card from my Nintendo Switch just to put it in this Osmo Pocket. But yeah, this was my full breakdown of both of these cameras. Again, this is what they both look like side by side. I would love your guys' opinion in the comments below, which one you prefer, why you love the Osmo Pocket, or why you love the ZV-1 so much. I'm going to go take care of this little man. Thank you guys for joining me on this episode of Alive Studio. Again, my name is Chris. You can follow me at Copy and Still or Alive Studio Team. I need to change this one to Alive Studio Team. Also, if you're interested in starting a show like what I'm doing here, you can go to bookalivestudio.com. Link is in the description. You can book a discovery call, and I'm doing everything from traveling productions to consulting, studio builds, teaching people how I use Ecamm and how I do exactly what I'm doing here. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in another one. Peace, everybody.